Optimize Every Day, where we're looking for a daily improvement. So, today we're going to talk about innovation. As far as behavior goes, innovation seems like it might be a little bit of an odd topic,
Yeah.
but we as people need to be innovating. Um, and so we need behaviors that engage us in innovation.
Yeah, or conducive to it. That's right.
Exactly. Conducive is a very good word because most of us are frickin' damn lazy. We
Yeah.
do the least amount of effort to get to the best point that we want to get to without any additional effort.
Yeah, like we talk about all the time. Most people are pain adverse. Just
Yep.
getting up and doing something is painful to them. So,
Sometimes, you got people out there that, get me a cheeseburger, get me a chicken, get me a, and before you know it, they're glued to a bed or a chair
or a couch.
or a couch. Reminds me of that one TV show where they had the dude that they had to literally cut the side of the building out and take him and the
Oh,
chair
the
out of the
800-pound
building.
life type
Or
show.
yeah, kind of like a 600-pound life show.
Yeah, yeah.
And they literally took the guy with the chair with one of those what do they call them, the telehandlers, and picked him up because his skin had grown through the springs in the damn chair. And they
Whiz.
literally had to took him into the hospital and cut him out of the
Had to
chair.
cut them off of it. Yeah, it's sad, and usually when you see something like that, it's an extreme level of whatever's going on, fear or whatever it is,
Oh.
where you can definitely say at that point it's mental illness, and
There
there's
definitely has to be some type of mental illness where that is concerned. But still, it shows that, we can get away with literally doing practically nothing. If everybody else is willing to do for you, a lot of people will. And you need to get out of that mindset that everybody can do it for me and start doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's not for self-reliance sake. Self-reliance is good, but
I would say self-survival maybe.
well, if you're stuck in a chair and then your people who help you suddenly decide, I ain't going to help you no more, if you don't have water, you're going to die real quick.
Quite possible.
But anyway, we're talking innovation. So when we talk innovation behavior, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think is innovation in behavior?
Um,
I know I
that
cut
is
you off
that's a
guard.
hard one. It's hard
It
for me
is.
because it's hard for me to make the connection. Like I've never had to think about that, right? I never had to think about connecting innovation
Behavior and
with
innovation.
behavior. Yeah, because
But I see you do it every day.
yeah, well, I don't know if it's behavior. I mean, we might get into that today because I just look at, like I just said survival. Like when you're in a survival mode or you're in a mode of competition, you innovate. You're running a football down the field and you see a tackler, you have to think instantaneously. You have to invent or innovate a way to get past this person, right? You have to spin move or jump over them or whatever it is, run through them. You have to think instantaneously on what to do here. And so I don't know if that's a behavior. It could be a trained behavior to know what to do in a situation where you
There's
need
a
to innovate.
difference between a trained behavior where you've practiced.
Yeah.
In football, you see these games and you see these guys, they leap over people, they
Yeah.
do spins,
Yeah,
they
you're
do,
like, what is-
they do things. But a lot of that is trained behavior.
Yeah, where they've trained for the moment.
They've trained for the moment. They're they're not innovating so much as they're using their muscle memory to get there.
Yeah.
Where I see innovation in behavior, and especially as you're concerned, is when you're looking at doing something, and then you've innovated how you end up reaching a goal because you don't know how to do something. So you're
Yeah.
finding ways to do
find
it.
it,
You're
okay.
innovating the path because the path is new. It's your road less traveled because you've never traveled down that road.
Yeah.
And it's not a beaten path that everybody has done. And granted, there are Sherpas who can guide you down some of those paths. But, just like climbing Everest, there's very few people
Who can achieve it even?
who've climbed to the top. Even fewer who've climbed it that have been able to live to tell about it. And you have a number of individuals who they're just following behind others. They're not trying to innovate. They're not trying to improve. They're just following what somebody else does. But when you have somebody who's a true innovator of behavior, they're looking at what happened ahead of them. They're taking the instruction of the Sherpas ahead of them making their trip, and then they're looking at that list of things that they need, and they're saying, if I take a carbon fiber canister instead of an aluminum canister, it's not going to get as cold. It's still going to conduct the cold into the can, but it's lighter weight, so I don't have as much weight as an aluminum canister or a steel canister. They get tossed by the wayside as people climb the mountain. So that's kind of the innovation. I see you doing that as you're creating some of your videos.
Yeah, but I'm still having a hard time connecting behavior to it. What's the innovative behavior? Like I cannot see how behavior is connected in a certain way. Maybe a certain way I can. You have
the behavior is that you're actually making the effort to go after those avenues that you don't know. You're finding
so it's like
new behaviors.
You have to adjust to make new behaviors to get to where you're going.
Right.
Okay, got you. Yeah,
Right.
That makes sense. Wow. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Let me think about this. It's kind of mind-boggling when you go this deep into it, but yeah, I guess there is
there's
a behavior to
whole-
it. But is it based upon our nature, or is it based upon personality types? Like, how do
I'm not sure.
Huh.
I've done some research in the area of behavior with systems theory and CBT therapy and DBT therapy and a number of other therapies, and even EMDR therapy.
Which I know nothing about any of this. I don't know what he's talking about. They are therapies. I do understand that.
But people who are masterful in using those therapies can help people reach goals and change behaviors that they're looking to change.
That makes sense.
But personally, the easiest theory is systems theory, because you can actually have more control over your system and how you utilize your system. So, and systems can have a lot of behaviors in it, where you do step A, and then you do step B, and then you do step C, and then you do step D, and you get outcome E.
That's right.
It's easily pathed down, and then you can modify that system for something else. So you're going to use the same similar types of steps, but you're innovating those steps to reach something out here at G or H. It's like a good project management plan where you get everything laid out. But still, the project management plan, all it says is we need X done in Y time and Z done in L time and N done in Z time. And when A is done, then B can start, but D can't start until C is complete. But it needs to be done before E can start.
So these are patterns of behavior.
So there's a whole set of patterns, of behavior. And you have to be able to manage your behaviors and deal with those systems. So you have to innovate how you are doing things. And we are a social animal where we really need to be innovating and showing that, we can do things differently to improve our lives and improve the lives of others. And when we're improving ourselves, we make it possible for others to improve themselves, because this idea of keeping up with the Joneses works in more than just buying things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you agree with that, or is it?
This is the hardest conversation I've had this week.
I can tell,
because I'm telling you that the behavior and when it comes to the other part we're talking about, it's tough. It's tough for me to wrap my head around it. I get lost in some stuff like this. It gets a little deep for my brain. I'm not that type of thinker, but if it's basic and easy, I pretty much got it. If it's common stuff, but this one's a tough one for me. I don't have too much to say, I guess, on that part.
Well, some topics are going to be that way.
It's deep, yeah.
And I think that as we go along, and as I push my ideas your direction, that it will capture your thoughts.
Sometimes, like I say, if when you have like there's different levels of thinkers, and there's people with different knowledge bases. So
that is very true.
My knowledge base is nothing in psychology. I'm not a big fan of a lot of parts of psychology, honestly. There were times in my life where I thought psychology was a pseudoscience, right? So
it still kind of is.
Yeah. So I'm not big in psychology. I'm more of a, you've had many labels for my thought process or what I kind of do. So it's tough for me to get deep into certain thought processes. I like political talk, sports talk, talk about, certain things, improvement and self-help, like what we do every day for the audience. But when it gets to a certain depth, you're way beyond. I can't swim out there. Like that is.
You're not going into.
Yeah, I had a hard time today, right off top, like trying to connect the two. I think 10 minutes later, I'm thinking, how do we connect that? So,
well, I think that there are people out there who have this level of.
Yeah, they do. There is.
And I think it's beneficial for people to think about it. I don't think that everybody's going to get this particular topic.
Yeah, I think a lot of our topics, some people get it, some people won't. I think younger audience will get it sometimes. And I think it depends on your level of understanding or IQ and interest. If you're really interested in that thing, if you're passionate about those areas, some of the areas that I know that I talk about, some people could care less, but then other areas are like, I got value from that. So it's a tough one. Today's subject is the toughest one.
Well, we'll do something a little simpler tomorrow. We'll have a pre-meeting so that.
Yeah.
We've got.
Don't tell them we didn't have a pre-meeting. Great. Now we look like we just came up here and gave you a show.
Well, you know, we are definitely hoping that you like what we have to offer, and that you'll think about what we're providing to you, and that it's not just the same old ordinary, oh, go do this and go do that, and you're going to have this outcome. Because we're never going to promise you an outcome. What we will promise you is that if you're making a 1% improvement in yourself every day, that you will personally see how that has had an impact in your life after a fairly short period of time, but even more when you look at it over a year. And we're not asking you to do anything super hard. This is not asking you to run a mile today with no practice. This is not
Small
asking,
steps. Small
not
steps.
asking you to, you know, say, I'm going to go run a marathon, the Marine Corps marathon next May,
Then
and
you
say
swim and then
you're
you
going to
dive,
start
and then
in
you ride a
March
bike.
and be ready for it. This
what do they
is,
call
we're
that?
saying you're going to do the Marine Corps marathon, and you're going to start today. Today you're going to
Small
go buy
steps.
the pair of shoes, and you're going to do some walking in it so the shoes get broke in, and then you're going to, after the shoes feel broke in, then you're going to do some long walks. You know, you're going to find a park that's got a big lake, and you're going to walk around that lake a couple of times. And then we're going to ask you to, you know, run a mile. And then once you're comfortable running the mile, we're going to ask you to do 2. And once you're comfortable with the 2, we're going to ask you to do 3. And before you know it, we're going to be asking you to go from 5 to 7. And then we're going to go 7 to 10. And before you know it, you're running 26.2 miles. And once you're at 26.2 miles, then we're going to ask you to improve your time on that 26.2 miles. And then before you know it, you're going to be sitting in front of a plate of pasta the night before the Marine Corps Marathon at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and you're going to be eating that bowl of pasta because you know you need that energy for that race. And then at 7 o'clock in the morning, when they blow that whistle, you'll be off and running, and you'll stay with the group that you're meant to stay with on that first one. But we're going to want you to run it again the following year, so that way you're in it with a different league. And all those behaviors that took to get you to there are simple steps. Nothing that's going to cause you a lot of pain. Yeah, at certain points, you know, you're going to feel it. Yes. There is that saying, no pain, no gain. Well, you don't always have to have a lot of pain to make progress. You just have to do. So be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it, baby.
So just do it, and like and subscribe.
Subscribe and like.
And comment. We'll comment to your comments. And thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.